Christine Lagarde would be the person who would have to say that Greece is in default for anything to happen, right?
They have to pay by 6 p.m. Washington time, Wall Street time tomorrow, the IMF, the money that they owe them. If they don't, the IMF, in theory, could wait a month. But Christine Lagarde said last week that they would declare an immediate default. And that raises a question. If she does that, that would then give Greece's other creditors the ability, not the obligation, but the ability to declare a cross default and say, we expect you're in default to us and we demand immediate repayment. So that is one of the crises that they have to face before the referendum even gets here.
You know, just looking at some of the pictures, I mean, I have to say that is the most calm-looking bank run I have seen so far. I mean, do you think part of that might have to do with this idea that you know, either the Greeks are in denial or they believe that, in fact, that this is going to happen, but it's not going to affect them that much?
Well, I think the feeling that you get from Greeks is that they have been so beaten down that it will get worse, but it won't get that much worse that they can't get through it. There's 25% unemployment, almost 50% youth unemployment at this point. So the economy is in tatters, but they also feel you've got the ECB holding their back. You saw the emergency liquidity assistance to Greek banks. The ECB is still there, and the hope is that they will not let the banks fail.
Right.
You know, one thing I can't help but noticing as we show all the pictures of people lining up in front of ATM machines, Eric, is that it's all older people, pensioners who are lining up at the ATM machines. You don't see any young people there. Where are the young people? What are they doing?
Well, some of them are skateboarding, quite honestly. I saw a lot of that last night as I was walking through the main plaza in front of the Parliament building. But I would just jump on a point that Mike made. A lot of young people are unemployed. They don't have cash to withdraw from the bank. The pensioners got paid on Friday or over the weekend or today, and so they're taking out their money. A lot of other people have the ability to use credit cards. There is no restriction on credit card use provided the payments are kept within Greece. That means the money isn't leaving the country. So that helps to explain why there's this level of calm. And I would also add to that, most people, I mean, put yourself in the position of a Greek citizen. They don't read the headlines. They aren't as closely attuned to them as we are. They don't anticipate chaos the way we might. They care about things when they can't get money out of the bank, when they go to the supermarket or the drugstore, and they can't get basic necessities in the way of food or medication. That's when these capital controls are really going to start biting, and that may not happen for several days.
It may not. So I'm looking at, you know, the headline here about about these markets being closed and the banks until July 6th. So what happens come July 6th, Mike?
Well, that's an interesting question because it is very hard to take capital controls off once they're in place, and it's all going to depend on the results of the referendum. If there's a no vote, they're probably going to need them in place because there would be a run on the markets. Even if there's a yes vote, it isn't clear what happens then. Does the government fall and it takes some time before they get back to negotiations? Here, the European leaders' reaction to the vote is going to be very important for confidence and what happens next to the banking system.
All right. Thank you so much, Michael McKee, our economics editor. Oh, Eric, please.
I just wanted to add that there's a wrinkle to this, to the question, or at least to the answer, that we're going to find out about tomorrow night. If Greece defaults, as everyone expects it will to the IMF, and if the Troika's bailout program expires on schedule tomorrow, it's possible that the Greek banking system will be immediately insolvent because Greek collateral is no longer any good. And if that's the case, even if the vote goes in, so to speak, the right direction, which is to say yes in favor of an extension of the bailout under new terms, it's not really clear whether the banks are going to be able to open next week or not.